What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Thanks for joining. I want to talk about the two announced retirements that came out of the FDA's Office of Vaccines Research and Review. And I'm going to read a little clip here and talk about what this means or what makes me curious about these resignations. Dr. Marion Gruber, director of the FDA's Office of Vaccines Research and Review, and her deputy, Dr. Philip Krause, announced Tuesday that they plan to retire by November, according to a memo from Dr. Peter Marks, director of the agency's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research. Gruber is a 32-year veteran of the FDA, respected around the world for her work on a number of vaccines, including those for Ebola, Zika, and now C19. The announcement that she plans to retire comes on the heels of several weeks of confusing messaging from public health officials, which might have fueled the pending departures. The White House announced that the booster shots would start September 20th, ahead of approval of the idea by the FDA or discussion by the country's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. We need to find out what they have to say. As just a common citizen, I want to know what Dr. Marion Gruber and Dr. Philip Krause have to say. If anything, they probably obviously aren't going to talk until they're retired at the earliest, if at all. But I want to hear why. Because the appearance, the rumors, the discussion around this is Marion Gruber is a 32-year veteran of the FDA. That's 3 decades. How many presidents has she been head of the FDA here, director of the Office of Vaccine Research for, and now's the time she resigns. This comes on the heels of the Biden administration pushing the booster shots starting September 20th. If the booster shots are needed, I'm all for them. My question is, are they needed? And was there disagreement here from the organization that should have been the one to decide if they're needed, if there's justification, the ones that we as the public have to trust, the ones that you as our establishment overlords told us to trust? What's happening here? I haven't heard any separate comment yet or interest, but this is something to really keep an eye on to see if we can get any type of journalism done on this piece. It shows you the power of the media. This story did make major media outlets, but it's hard not to do what about isms. If Trump was in office, it would be like Armageddon. It would reach all the opinion shows. This didn't reach the opinion shows on the masses. And I don't know why they're resigning. Maybe they could be the corrupt ones. I don't know. I want to hear from them, though. I think we all should want to hear from them. If you're pushing boosters, and the interesting thing is, it started with 8 months after the original, you might need a booster. Then it became 6 months. And now it's proposed 3 times a year, every 4 months. At what point do we have to say, what's happening? Is this in perpetuity? Where's the end? A lot of times with government programs, they will give you an end date and keep pushing it out. Unless I'm missing something, which I could be wrong here, I haven't seen an end date. So it's going to be vaccines every 4 months? To what end? My concern is it can become a test of whether you're still a part of the establishment system if you believe in them. You might have seen Bill Maher said he took the vaccine, took it for the team. That was his words, his take. And for me, I think take it. If you look at the data, make the decision. This is never to say someone not to do something. But then now he's saying, I don't know if I want the booster. So now he's not trust, because if the administration's saying you need the booster and Bill Maher took the original and is like, nah, I don't need the booster, now he doesn't trust them anymore. It could be used as a litmus test. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But we've got to get this reined in because That is a possibility, as crazy as it might sound. I'm worried about these agencies being politicized and being ruled over by politics instead of science. Let me know what you think. Is there a concern here or not? And if there's more information I'm not aware of.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for Project Veritas. Their exposure, undercover work, it's holding people accountable. It's holding companies accountable. It's holding school districts accountable. Everyone out there, if you're doing something shady that could be, if exposed, blow up, but in a Project Veritas video, you're worried and you're not talking to anybody. And you might even think about doing something that's not right. Their court cases are also precedent setting. You might have seen them versus the New York Times. It is amazing stuff. A lot of these things that we're having disagreements on are going to have to be settled in the court system with a lot of money spent, and they're taking that time and energy to do it. I'm going to leave you out with a clip from their latest expose. Thanks a lot for listening. Take care.
Breaking news. Natimus Unified School District announces they will fire teacher Gabriel Geip. This in from the Natimus community letter, just hot off the press. As of today, this teacher was placed on paid leave because of his actions and choices in the classroom. Natimus United will be taking the legally required next steps to place the teacher on unpaid leave and fire the teacher. From the evidence gathered so far, the teacher violated the district's political action guidelines, which were aligned with board policy and California educational code. This comes on the heels of us catching Geip on tape saying he has 180 days to revolutionize the students. He wants to scare the blank out of students.
I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
How do you do that? How do you
Scare the fuck out of them.
And an insider within the school taking pictures of the Antifa flag hanging on his classroom wall, to which Geip said he wanted his students to feel uncomfortable about.
It's meant to make fascists feel uncomfortable, so if you feel uncomfortable, I don't really know what to tell you.
The letter continues this morning. The walls of Geip's classroom were cleared of all posters and signage. In fact, we've been able to corroborate this. In fact, someone inside the school has just sent us video of Gabriel Geip's classroom. All signs have been taken off the walls. The classroom is now empty. They have removed all political posters from the wall, and outside the door, it previously said the teacher's name. It no longer says Gabriel Geip's name outside C207. A lot of people say nothing ever happens to these people. That's a lot of the comments we see. Nothing ever. Well, something just did happen in the state of California, no less, where it's very difficult for a teacher to be fired, and effectively, that's what this unified school district is announcing they're going to do. None of this would have been possible without Project Veritas, undercover journalists working alongside a tipster whistleblower on the inside of the classroom who reached out to us. It is currently 7 o'clock on the East Coast. We are very close to a school board meeting. You can stream that meeting here. We encourage you to do so. Gabriel Geip actually said in this video there are other people who agreed with him. We want to know who those people are, and we want to know why the student voiced concerns and no one cared until we showed up. Stay tuned, and as always, be brave, do something, because it matters.